I'm Daniel Tisch, CEO of the Ontario Chamber of Commerce. So an interesting thing happened to me at a recent local business event. The speaker asked the audience, how many of you saw Prime Minister Mark Carney's speech in Davos? Almost every hand in the room went up. And I thought that was really interesting because in 2025, business conversations focus so much on international trade and tariffs. We all got very smart about that stuff. In 2026, it's already shaping up as a year when we have to focus not just on trade, but on geopolitical risk. And the Prime Minister's speech was really important because he contended that there's been a rupture in the rules-based order that's brought such peace and prosperity to Canada, the US, and all of our major allies and partners. He's right about the rupture. In 2025, we saw this. Donald Trump took office a year ago. He promised that he would apply economic pressure to force Canada to become the 51st US state. And he went about keeping that promise by breaking his other promises, breaking his own trade agreement repeatedly with round after round of tariffs that hurt Canada, but also caused great pain for American businesses and workers and communities. And I guess the question we're trying to figure out right now is this rupture temporary or is it permanent? And that's not clear. I have to say, when I speak to our partners in the US, the business and political support I hear for free trade with Canada and Mexico is extraordinary, and I still hope wiser heads prevail. But I think the reason the Prime Minister's speech was so important is that in many ways, we have to prepare for the worst while never giving up on the best. And that means that both business and government have to be balanced in our strategy. We have to strengthen our own resilience and self-reliance. We have to diversify our trading relationships and all the while maintain an extended hand to our largest trading partner. So if 2025 was a wake-up call, 2026 has to be a call to action. If things are going to get tough, Canada has to get buff. And let's remember that while governments set the rules and the roadmap, trade doesn't happen between nations, it happens between businesses and business people. Growth doesn't come from governments, it comes from entrepreneurs and investors and innovators. And so businesses have to lead. And at the Chamber, we try to help them lead by convening and mobilizing and empowering them with knowledge and programs and policy and advocacy. And the weeks ahead are going to be all about that. In just a few weeks, on February 19th, we're releasing our 10th annual Ontario Economic Report at the Empire Club. We're focusing on the essential metrics on business confidence and the economic priorities that can help government and industry make the right choices. We recently released major reports on mining and on nuclear power as well, to spheres where Ontario has such incredible opportunity for global leadership. And later this spring, we're doing some interesting things, releasing our provincial budget submission, as well as preparing to lead a delegation of industry leaders to Washington, D.C. to talk about the Canada-US-Mexico agreement. But I'll tell you more about those next time. So to close, a lot of people are anxious right now, and a lot of people are worried. But I am optimistic that despite the uncertainty, that we're getting one thing right. We have more alignment than I've seen in a long time between different levels of government and between business and government on the things that we have to get right in Ontario and Canada. Whether it's about investment or entrepreneurship or diversification or productivity, it feels like businesses and governments are finally rowing in the same direction with support from their stakeholders and communities. And if we can get that right, Ontario and Canada can be unstoppable. See you next time.